Good evening and welcome to Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Siambo, and our top stories in the news tonight. Traders abandoned MTENDERE East Cooperative Market after UPND CADRES forcefully took over operations. Fake family planning injection lands purported medical doctor in court. CSPR bemoans Zambia's high cost of living. In international news, search underway for 50 women abducted in Burkina Faso. And in sports news, Power loses appeal ban on fans during home ground matches.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Good news, the rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generational wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Hello again, another news in detail. Operations at Valley View Market, also known as MTENDERE East Cooperative Market, have come to a standstill after cooperative leaders were hounded out of the market by alleged United Party for National Development UPND Kalikiliki Ward officials last week. Speaking to Camnet News Tuesday, traders say the market has sewer spillages, no water, and piling ZESCO bills as a new imposed leadership is not solving these problems. A check at the market by Camnet News also found that most toilets have been locked up due to their filthy state, causing open defecation at the market, as cleaners have since downed tools following the confusion. More in the following report.
This is Valley View Cooperative Market, also known as MTENDERE East Market, where a protest arose Tuesday morning as traders say business has come to a standstill due to the lack of leadership at the market. Upon visiting the place, one is greeted by sewer spillages right next to where food is being prepared. The traders here also say the market has no running water, while ZESCO bills are piling up as there is no one to collect revenue. The toilets here have also been locked up due to being out of use, leaving people to urinate and defecate around the market, as all workers have downed tools for non-payment of salaries. All this has come about after the cooperative market leadership was hounded out of office about 1 week ago by alleged United Party for National Development UPND officials from Kalikiliki Ward, leaving no one to collect revenue at the market, as the traders have refused to give levies to anyone not elected into leadership.
so manyumba siwa waziwa babwera kuno twafuna ati bafuna chairman no market chiliko chaso tivote chinchozo chimada na vote tikavota zazo tufuna sanka uyu hata ba kunyumba huko karamba zizazi songa bwanzi kaziona ndrama kupesa baba tifuna tivote teka tabene wake pano pa market.
We want change. This is cooperative market. It's not government market or party market. This is cooperative. Not what tengeche muntu kumchosa kuina ngwaze chairman. Alibe shop alibe ataze chairman. We want votes. Sake watu chairman so makatiazi. Manzi palibe. Bati chairman watu tusange teka isepano.
No makadazi. 10-7% mutari yense mutate benefit market pan. Bena ngwaibewa muna kashop kamene akakusa kachasu ata mondalama. Bena ngwaibewa kazi kashop kamene kakukisa faka mgaiza dapa asungabana. Manje iwerero sakuti ndio chairman no kuti.
Pa market pa BEMOANS pa toilet ba chairman nao ni bolubana. Ni market kwanja mine bantu bazambomvera bwino. Tilanganire mpone kani we need change.
Others say the market also has no security, as even the security guards have downed tools, while the garbage at the market keeps piling up, as there is no one to oversee its collection.
But now
the market has come to a standstill because CADRES have taken over the market, and also the other part is no workers are working. The security part, they've stopped working. The shops are at risk right now.
Not until there is a break of cholera. That's when the government wants to wake up. But we are trying to prevent this kind of a situation whereby people are not suffering from the cholera which is coming. We can see a looming cholera which is coming this time around.
Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Lusaka District Marketeers Cooperative Union Secretary General Moffat Mangoni says the union is moving in to ensure that the leadership wrangles are solved by 18th January 2023. He adds that should they fail to resolve the wrangles, other stakeholders will be involved. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And in a related development, traders at Lusaka's Comesa market have called for elections to select new market leadership as one way of ending the leadership wrangles at the market. Speaking to Camnet News, the traders say they are opposed to the decision by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for selected members of the new and old leadership to merge as one way of ending leadership disputes at the market. Wrangles have been obtaining at the market after old leaders disputed the new market leadership, stating that no elections were held to select them. More in this report.
The continued politicization of public facilities like markets has for long been opposed by traders, as this destabilizes their operations due to alleged harassment. The common market for East and Southern Africa Comesa has not been spared from these wrangles, as traders here say all they want are free and fair elections, a right they are not being allowed to exercise, as they have been under the same leadership for over 10 years, after which a new committee alleged to be affiliated to the current administration came to impose itself upon them. As one way of ending the wrangles, a consensus has been arrived at by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development that elected leaders from the old and new committee merge for the sake of peace. This decision has, however, been rejected by the traders, who say all they want are fresh elections.
Tinawasanga venangu venze macharedi tunaoneko fabwino famutendere nalero pano vakati kufuna cheveka veka vazongo yimirira so tufuna vaja vakalipe kusevenza ko mukomesa vasevenze tuone chitukuko ndiye pali mawe yake
sasevenza bwino pali confusion is vakunja sivangayoni but se market tiona, so that's why valimbikira pacha pampando kuti vangale pamozi, which means vakanga pamozi uyazabisa kantu kake nawo kazabisa vakakeka pamozi shen market yasikunezekirana.
They add that new people at the market should also be given a chance, stating that only elections will determine the true will of the people.
proposal yabagali nkumbo taikana chifukwa bakachingu wanasebenza ku office bamusonda wanasebenza ku office so chamene tifuna ife ni election aba bonse bakachingu na bamusonda bonse group stifuna tunako benangu wanyoni basebenze ne chamene tipempa.
What we want new leadership. All these people who are crying for these positions, they were there. There were misappropriation of funds, even up to this time around. People cannot see where the money is going. And to see, even when we had a meeting, it was just an interest of money which is coming from Comesa market. Now the owners of the market as traders, they want now to take charge. And we want elections. We want people to vote people they want. So we are appealing to our minister. We have not said that when he comes we are going to do anything or maybe insult him or boo him. No, we are not in that way. We want him to come and hear our voices, hear our views.
For now, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Gary Kombo is expected to go on the ground to lead discussions on how the new merged leadership will operate, but the traders are only requesting that their concerns be heard. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Works on the district road leading to Ngwerere compound and Kalimba farms in Lusaka's Chakunkola ward have commenced at a price of 108,000 kwacha. Chakunkola Ward 23 Councillor Chimuka Njomona says the project is being funded under the National Road Fund Agency and is meant to provide a temporary solution to the bad state of the road which has been affecting motorists who usually commute the road. The civic leader also says his office and that of the area member of parliament have received numerous complaints about the poor state of the road and has assured that once resources are secured, the entire road will be redone. More in this report.
This district road in Lusaka's Chakunkola ward, which leads to Ngwerere compound and Kalimba farms, despite its economic importance, has remained a subject of great concern for most motorists who frequently use the road due to its poor state. The bad state of the road has also been affecting most businesses in the area, which has led to members of the general public to call on the area member of parliament, Mike Mposha, to urgently work on the road. And area councillor Chimuka Njomona says temporary measures to patch up the potholes have commenced and the initiative is being supported by the National Road Fund Agency NRFA. The councillor who was on the site to check on the works has told this reporter that the works will be done at a price of 108,000 kwacha.
Works that we are witnessing today outside the CDF budget, and this is an initiative under the office of the MP and also the initiative under the office of the councillor to speed up works and also to respond to the urgent need that this road be worked on. We brought in Lusaka City Council that did a BOQ and the budget came to about 108,000 kwacha.
The councillor also says once enough resources are secured, the entire road will be reconstructed to ensure a permanent solution to the bad state of the economic road.
Works that have been done may not be permanent in nature, looking at what is happening now. But we are resolved to make sure that this road is brought back to its original state, where it becomes strong and well accessible by all motorists and road users. However, we brought in the performance contractor, as earlier alluded to. These are best contractors that are within our ward, and they've come on board just to mitigate and to provide immediate alternative to the problem that we've had.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala has called for an end to indiscriminate waste disposal in Lusaka, adding that it has been a major contributor to climate change. Speaking in Lusaka Tuesday, shortly after planting a tree at Kapiriomba Primary School, Ms. Chitangala says there has been reports of increased cases of diarrhea in Lusaka, adding that the city is at risk of contracting cholera if the situation is not well handled. The mayor also says the effects of climate change is being felt by everyone and that there is need to put up mechanisms to end the vice by planting more trees. She says pupils in school should also be taught the importance of tree planting, which is a mitigating measure to climate change.
Manage our waste properly, we throw in the drainages. It means that we block the drainages when we have heavy rains, like now when we're having good rains. So we are going around schools. Like this program is to go around schools. We have 20 schools. We're being supported by MTN, where we teach the kids how important it is to preserve our trees, and then also just make sure that the trees that we plant, they continue looking after them. And then at the same time, it's just to tell the people in the city to take care of their homes, especially where waste management is concerned. We want the people of the city not to throw garbage in the drainages, because they'll be blocked, and then we have flooding. And when we have flooding, it means that we suffer waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and so on. Like now, we have a lot of diarrheal cases. So it means there's looming cholera issues around. So it's also part of just awareness for people to know that we have to keep our surroundings clean, and also just to make sure that we fight climate change in this way, where we plant our trees and make sure that our trees grow. And then we're telling the kids also just not to end at school, to also take this back home for their brothers and sisters and their parents.
The Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR, has expressed concern on the high cost of living, which has continued to affect the poor households. CSPR Programs Manager Edward Mososa says the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, has indicated that the cost of living for a family of 5 in Lusaka went up by 415 kwacha between November and December 2022, as compared to an increase of 214 kwacha over the same period in 2021. Mr. Mososa says the cost of living is expected to worsen due to the increased hours in load shedding, which has resulted in the increased demand for charcoal. The center has since advised the government to ensure it increases support to small and medium enterprises so as to enable businesses have enough operating capital, which will lower the price of commodities for ordinary citizens.
Also, we've observed that of late there has been an increase in the cost of milling meal. In some areas this is fetching above 200 kwacha, which is way beyond what the average household or poor household in Zambia can afford. And also we know that the cost of living is likely to be exacerbated by the advent of the load shedding, which has resulted in the increased demand for charcoal, and this will also affect rural households who also purchase the same charcoal as we buy. Therefore, as Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, we are concerned that some of the positive macroeconomic indicators that the Ministry of Finance and National Planning has been speaking to, as well as the positive outlook for the year 2023, is yet to translate into improved conditions of living for most citizens in Zambia. But this is not also impacting on the actual cost of living. We are therefore recommending that the government, through both its fiscal and monetary policies, is able to address the high cost of living, but also more importantly that they can support the SMEs so that this can also contribute to the reduced cost of production, which obviously has been affected by load shedding, so that in that way it can also translate into reduced cost of basic commodities.
Former Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya and 7 others have pleaded not guilty before the Lusaka Magistrates Court on an alleged corrupt deal worth nearly 18 million United States dollars. Dr. Chilufya, with his co-accused former Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Caroline Kakulubelwa, former Attorney General Likando Kalaluka, Wilson Lungu, a procurement officer, Mwamba Emmanuel, a pharmacist, and the 3 honeybee directors Zakia Motala, Imran Lunat, and Abdurauf Motala have denied the allegation of conspiracy to defraud the state. The 8 are accused of defrauding the government in a deal to buy health kits worth more than 17 million United States dollars.
Former Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya and 7 others made their second court appearance before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court since their arrest last year. Tuesday morning, the 8 pleaded not guilty on alleged corrupt deal worth nearly 18 million United States dollars. Dr. Chilufya has been jointly charged together with former Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Caroline Kakulubelwa, former Attorney General Likando Kalaluka, Wilson Lungu, a procurement officer, Mwamba Emmanuel, a pharmacist, and 3 honeybee directors, Zak Montala, Emerin Lunat, and Aduruf Montala. The state accuses them of one count of conspiracy to defraud the state, contrary to Section 313 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, a charge which they have denied this morning when they appeared before the Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili. The Anti-Corruption Commission last year arrested the former health minister on allegation that he defrauded the government in a deal to buy healthy kits. Allegations before court is that the 8 accused between the 1st of January 2019 and the 31st of January 2021 did conspire to defraud the government of the Republic of Zambia in a manner in which honeybee farmers participated in the tender of supply and delivery of 50,000 healthy kits and was consequently awarded a contract of supply and delivery of 22,500 healthy kits valued at above 17 million United States dollars. Dr. Chilufya's arrest is the latest twist in a series of prosecution of high-profile officials since the previous executive was defeated in August 2021 general elections. The accused are currently on bond and will commence their trial on the 16th of February 2023. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
A 39-year-old businesswoman has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrates Court how she was left with an amputated left arm following a drug that was administered on her by a man who purported to be a medical doctor. Nancy Musonda has told Magistrate Crispin Hampungani that Shadrach Hangandu, who purported to be a medical doctor and called himself Dr. HH, injected an unknown substance on her left arm on pretext that it was a family planning medicine. More in this report.
Her story was recently aired on Camnet TV, where she explained how a man who claimed to be a medical doctor administered an unknown substance on her left arm instead of family planning.
Wanawafunza mungapezeke na family planning ya 3 months ati nilinayo nizingati 20 kwacha au bwani muniraseko paja pebana nirasa paja pakwanja pabwa papompeka papanga kwatira ikapute chinabwa cha pompeka che chikulu cha laundi nifuka chepa kliniki cha polika paja pamecha polika chezo chosa va green vonunka demwana wana nilembera emergency.
Now a few months down the line after the story was aired, Nancy Musonda has dragged Shadrach Hangandu to the Lusaka's Magistrate Court for maliciously administering poison with intent to harm. Narrating what transpired on the material day, the 11th of August 2022, the complainant has told Magistrate Crispin Hampungani that she was introduced to Shadrach Hangandu, the accused person, by her neighbor who had informed her that the said accused person was the one administering family planning to ladies in the community who did not want to fall pregnant. The mother of 5 testified that upon being told by her neighbor, she decided to seek the accused service afterward paid him a 20 kwacha. However, few minutes after taking the said family planning injection, the witness says she started feeling bad and later her arm was amputated. Nancy Musonda has told Magistrate Crispin Hampungani that Shadrach, who purported to be a medical doctor, called himself Dr. HH, injected an unknown substance on her left arm on pretext that it was family planning. The matter comes up on the 20th of February 2023. Meanwhile, the accused has denied the allegations before court. He remains in custody. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Apostles' Council of Churches has called for a dialogue involving the church and politicians way ahead of the 2026 general elections to find a lasting solution to ending violence among political parties. In an interview, Church Programs Director Reverend Mwawana Zulu notes that it is surprising that political violence is the order of the day during general elections, despite major political parties such as the United Party for National Development, UPND, and the Patriotic Front, PF, having signed various peace accords in the past. He therefore notes the need to start talks early, further urging the church not to relent on prayers for the country. The clergyman adds that the church has a major role to play in maintaining peace and unity in the country and should therefore remain non-partisan.
Political violence that we saw, will not see it again. because the clergy actually has come up. I have seen the unity among the clergy this time. I have seen the unity where the clergy says, no, I think we need to come together and work together as a team to see to it that the nation is stable. It's not only about physical violence. These things start from the spirit. Therefore, as the body of Christ, we are praying for peace over this nation, and we are engaging political parties in order to see to it, even as we go towards election, there is a peace. And we thank God for God because He has been there for Zambia. Even if we can have political violence, I think it's different from other countries where we have seen a lot of bloodshed. But in Zambia, because in Zambia we value the life, it's very difficult for someone to harm someone. All these things are happening because of the enemy penetrating in. Therefore, as the body of Christ, I urge all the pastors, let's not wait for 2026 in order for us to start talking about the violence, praying for the violence. This is the time now to engage in prayers, praying for the peace of the nation, praying also to see that even as we approach the year of the election, there shall be no violence, there shall be peace that we are enjoying now.
You're watching Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Camnet Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, is inviting all skillfully gifted, talented and creative soccer players from across Zambia. Ages between 16 and 20 must come, train and join the club. The category of these gifted footballers have the chance to go and market their talent in Europe and USA through Camnet Stars Football Club, a team formed with a vision to produce quality international players. Please do not miss this brief open opportunity given to you. Camnet Stars Football Club could be your gateway to your international soccer career. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Date 12th December 2022 to 21st January 2023. Time 09 hours to 11 hours. Your time to shine is now.
Welcome back. We'll continue with our news. The Zimba Town Council has started the drilling of 10 boreholes at the total cost of 1.1 million kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The boreholes drilling project, which has been necessitated by the continued water challenges in the district, will see 2,506 people from 6 out of 12 wards in the district access clean and safe drinking water. And Zimba Town Council Rural Water and Sanitation Coordinator Rebecca Tembo says that the project, which is earmarked for completion in March 2023, reflects the aspirations of the people. Ms. Tembo has also disclosed that 5 of the 10 borehole projects were a carryover from the 2021 CDF, while the other 5 fell under the 2022 CDF calendar.
We as Zimba Town Council, we have started the drilling of 10 boreholes in 6 wards under CDF project for 2021 and 2022. This project will be done in 6 wards, and these wards are Zimbas, Mwatachela, Chundwe, Uyaba, Chidi, and Siamafumba. These boreholes will be drilled at a total cost of 1.1 million kwacha. And once this project is completed, it is going to benefit about 2,576 people. So this project, there was a delay in starting this project due to the terrain of our district, which is prone to drilling dry boreholes. We are very happy as the Zimba Town Council, because this is a great achievement, as the communities have been sharing water with animals from the streams, which is not clean and safe. So we are very much happy to implement this activity, and also this is a community-driven program, project. So once it is complete, it is going to reduce the diseases like waterborne diseases, which comes as a result of drinking unsafe water.
The Zambia Police has reported that the country had, in the fourth quarter of 2022, recorded a total of 9,070 road traffic accidents countrywide, as compared to 8,505 accidents recorded during the same period in 2021. Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale has revealed that most of the road traffic accidents during the fourth quarter were attributed to human error, such as misjudging clearance distance, excessive speed, failing to keep to near side, reversing negligently, and cutting in. During the same period in 2021, police recorded 466 fatal road traffic accidents, in which 641 persons were killed, as compared to 501 fatal road traffic accidents, where 570 persons were killed in the fourth quarter of 2022. Lusaka Province recorded the highest number of road traffic accidents, with 4,735, followed by Copperbelt Province with 1,600, with the least being Muchinga Province, which recorded the 185 accidents.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, during the fourth quarter of 2022, we recorded 9,070 road traffic accidents. This is compared to 8,505, the number of accidents recorded in 2021 during the same time. So we are talking about an increase of 565 road traffic accidents. So we have recorded an increase in the number of road traffic accidents in the last quarter of 2022 as compared to the last quarter of 2021. So the increase in the number of accidents is attributed to mostly human error. We're talking about overspeeding, reversing negligently. We're talking about cutting in. So most of these accidents are caused by human error. So we urge members of the public to be wary. We urge members of the public to be careful on these roads. Lusaka Province has recorded quite a big number of road accidents compared to other provinces. Lusaka has recorded more than 4,000 road traffic accidents. And then Copperbelt, we're talking about 1,600. So people in Lusaka, we have recorded a huge number of road traffic accidents. We appeal to motorists to be cautious on the road and always be mindful of other road users. Going forward, a Zambia Police Service, working together with other stakeholders like RATSA, we hope to have a reduction in this year 2023.
At least 61,000 farmer households in Southern Province have been affected by the crop-ravaging pest known as the fall army worms. Southern Province Agricultural Coordinator Max Jombe says about 41,000 hectares with a 20% infestation rate have been affected by the fall army worms. Dr. Jombe further revealed that out of the 323 agricultural camps in Southern Province, 285 have been affected by the fall army worms. Dr. Jombe was speaking when he gave an update on the fall army worms attack on farmer households in Southern Province at Lusumpuko House in Choma. He noted that as a ministry, awareness campaigns will continue to be as the pest, if not well controlled, can affect the overall yield in the province. And Senior Field Crops Officer Novas Somanje said the most affected district in the province is Kalomo, with at least 13,000 hectares being affected, with over 23,000 farmer households.
At least 61,000 farmer households in Southern Province have been affected by the crop-ravaging pest known as the 4-army worm. Southern Province Agriculture Coordinator Max Chombe says above 41,000 hectares have been affected by the 4-army worms with a 20% infestational rate. Dr. Chombe further revealed that out of the 323 agricultural camps in Southern Province, 285 have been affected by the 4-army worms.
As a province, we have 323 camps, out of which 285 camps have been affected by the 4-army worm. And that translates to above 61,000 farmers or farming households that have been affected. In terms of hectareage, we have above 41,000 hectares that have been affected by the 4-army worms.
And Senior Field Crops Officer Novas Somanje said the most affected district in the province is Kalomo, with at least 13,000 hectares being affected, with over 23,000 farmer households. Dr. Somanje said Namala district has the highest infestational rate at 45%.
The most affected district with 4-army worm is Kalomo, with over 13,000 hectares being affected, with over 23,000 farmers in terms of household, that is. For infestation rate, however, Namwara has the highest at 45%.
Meanwhile, Principal Agriculture Officer Paul Nyambe has advised farmers to use a cheap and effective control method of using a chemical known as belt.
If you just get one sachet of belt costing 20 kwacha, you'll be able to spray 5 kg, which is 1 lima of a maize crop. So if you are going to put up 1 hectare, which is 4 sachets, because each 5 kg will be 1 lima. So in 1 hectare, you have 4 limas. So 4 sachets maximum, which will cost you 80 kwacha, will be enough to cover the whole crop of 1 hectare, 80 kwacha.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Choma.
This is Camnet Television, the news. We take our second and final break. We'll be back with the international and sports news.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Good news, good news. The rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generation Wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Welcome back. Now in international news, Tuesday marks the return of classes to primary and secondary schools in Malawi's two largest cities following a cholera outbreak that claimed hundreds of lives. After the Christmas break, schools in the capital Lilongwe and the business district Blantyre had been closed for at least 2 weeks. Over 750 individuals have already died as a result of the cholera outbreak, which started in March of last year. Both Lilongwe and Blantyre still have significant infection rates. Meanwhile, Nigerian leading presidential candidate Peter Obi pledged Monday to rid Africa's most populous nation of endemic corruption and widespread insecurity if he wins next month's election. And elsewhere, security forces are searching for about 50 women kidnapped by suspected jihadists in insurgency-hit northern Burkina Faso, a regional governor said on Monday. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
In Burkina Faso, security forces are searching for about 50 women kidnapped by suspected jihadists in insurgency-hit northern parts of the country. The women were abducted last Thursday and Friday by suspected jihadists, as several others also managed to escape to nearby villages. Burkinabe human rights defender Daouda Diallo expressed his concerns about the kidnapping, terming it a new situation never witnessed in recent months. This is the first time that we have seen an abduction of several dozen women. Sometimes we have recorded isolated cases, but women were mostly able to move around more than men. But today, the situation is worrying, and it is as if this is a new situation today in terms of security that we must take into account. According to local officials, the army and civilian auxiliaries had carried out an unsuccessful sweeps of the area. The abduction took place at Abinda, in an area under blockade by jihadist groups and dependent on food supplies from outside. These extremist armed groups are increasingly militarized, that is, well motorized, with vehicles and often with actors who also wear uniforms to cover their tracks. So these are extremist and well militarized non-state armed groups that are endangering the lives of civilians. Since 2015, Burkina Faso has battled an insurgency led by jihadists affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group that has killed thousands and displaced around 2 million people.
Learning in primary and secondary schools resumed on Tuesday in Malawi's two major cities following a cholera outbreak that killed hundreds of people. Schools in the capital, Lilongwe, and the commercial hub, Blantyre, had remained closed for at least 2 weeks after Christmas holidays. The cholera outbreak began in March last year and has so far killed more than 750 people. Infections are still high in Lilongwe and Blantyre. Health Minister said schools now have access to safe water and improved sanitation facilities, which will go a long way in reducing infections reported in schools. Malawi is among 31 countries globally hardest hit by cholera. The widespread cases of cholera in the country are as a result of the aftermath of Tropical Storm Anna and Cyclone Gombe that caused extensive flooding last year and destroyed the country's water and sanitation systems. Speaking at the International Affairs think tank Chatham House in London on Monday, Peter Obi, the Nigerian presidential candidate contesting to lead the West African nation, promised to rid the country of the endemic corruption and widespread insecurity that have stifled its growth.
Securing Nigeria is not impossible. I secured Anambra State has gone. And it won't be different. I've said we will deal and talk with those we will win, we will talk with those who are winnable. It will be carrot and stick. And those who don't, we will deal with them. We're not going to shy away. Nigeria must be secured. It's a country. Every country must be secured. But we are not going to walk away from the problem. We'll deal with it. We have our armies and military used to secure Africa.
Obi said it would open dialogue with secessionists in Nigeria's southeast and introduce a range of security reforms to protect lives, especially in the troubled north region where thousands have been killed by armed gangs.
The starting point is to recognize that the absence of peace is largely an economic factor because people don't have outlets for opportunity. They are easy recruits for people with all kinds of untoward goals. And so to get the economy right, first talk to all the stakeholders, engage them appropriately, and when the engagement doesn't work, you show the force of the authority of the state.
Government needs to be more involved in the education of the, and not only that, to provide jobs, to encourage investment from, say, the UK and other nations of the world who have an interest in the development of the nation, because the potential is dazzling, you understand?
Recent polls put him ahead of the ruling party's Bola Tinubu, a former governor of Nigeria's commercial hub, Lagos, and main opposition party's Atiku Abubakar, a former vice president.
It's now time for sports news. In our sports news tonight, the Football Association of Zambia, FASO, Appeals Committee has upheld the 5-match ban of fans for Power Dynamos Football Club home matches. According to the verdict by the Appeals Committee, the 50,000 kwacha fine slapped on Power Dynamos for failing to control their fans by the disciplinary committee has been upheld. The FASO disciplinary committee found Power Dynamos guilty of failure to manage the crowd and banned them from admitting fans for 5 home matches. Power Dynamos received a 50,000 kwacha fine for being in breach of Article 67.1 of the disciplinary code. FASO General Secretary Adrian Kashala hopes that clubs have learned something from the recent verdicts by the judicial bodies. To end the Camnet television news, we'll take a look at headlines once again. Traders abandon MTENDERE East Cooperative Market after UPND cadres forcefully took over operations. Fake family planning injection lands purported medical doctor in court. CSPR bemoans Zambia's high cost of living. In international news, search underway for 50 women abducted in Burkina Faso. And in sports news, Power loses appeal ban on fans during home ground matches. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from Psalms 139, verse 9 to 10. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. Thank you once again for watching Camnet News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.